son, Trey Holweger. Who I'm so proud of. Oh, it's one thing doing this on Zoom. Being on stage, this is our first time being on stage together. Alright, so did prepare a little PowerPoint. So Trey and I have done Zooms together. We talked about the product, of course they're all on my YouTube. We talked about the business. He shared, from an athletic perspective, but put a few things together for you guys because I know people are visual, probably more so than auditory. So Trey, let's talk about your childhood, growing up with mom being in network marketing.
Yeah, so my childhood was a little bit different than normal kids. My mom, ever since I was born, was in network marketing. So as you can see in these pictures, I basically roleplayed that I was her. That's my favorite thing to do. And so I took the time.
I love it.
I took the time out of school every week. I went to these events. I actually presented in front of people that saw bright pictures of me. I would read books. I would read the charts. I would learn everything that you would actually need to learn to build the business. And I would pretend that I was doing it alongside her. And I would do everything the person top of the business would do. And I felt like I was there. That's what I wanted to do my whole life. So, of course, when I got the age of 18, which is the legal age, I, of course, joined Lifewave, which is a company that we ended up being in when I turned 18. And it has just been a world of success, a world of fun. I get to work with my mom, so I have no complaints. It's just the best thing.
Thank you. And he really did. I mean, he was so excited as a little 7, 8, 9-year-old, standing up in front of the adults with the flip chart, drawing the circles. And he'd come to Monday morning meetup, because we met, all of us on the team in Indiana. We would drive in about 45 minutes to a coffee shop, and he never went to school on Monday, not a single Monday. He was going to a little private country school where we paid tuition, and they understood he was going to get more of an education outside of those walls. But we still paid him for 5 days, every week. Yeah, but he came and he would sit there with his notebook and he would tell all the people at Monday morning meetup exactly how many boxes or circles of how much BB they needed. And we didn't do bedtime stories. He didn't care about reading being read to. When he was a little kid, he cared about charting. He only wanted to look at the charts and know how much more was needed until I hit the top of the company.
I love it.
We have different perspectives. His growing up versus mine, right? But for me, it was always such a joy to take him with me and to be able to have these little conversations and talk about the people and what they needed and what they were doing and seeing our goals and dreams come to fruition. So Trey, what was the first products you started using in Lifewave and why?
So when I first heard about Lifewave, it was through her, of course. I was 16 at the time in high school playing basketball. And the only way she could really get me to do it, because, I didn't really care what it was, but she got me to do it because she said it would help me playing basketball. So, of course, I looked at what the patches were, and I found that Energy Enhancer would be the best fit for what I'm doing. And so I used Energy Enhancer, and to my surprise, I was doing better on the basketball court. I had more stamina, I had more speed, I felt more energetic. I had to play the whole game. My team was not very good, so I had to carry them. So, and that's how it started. But then once I saw that Energy Enhancer was doing so much for me, I of course tried all the patches out of skepticism. I had to see if it was actually true. Did they work? Vetted it myself, and of course I saw a lot of success with that. And I wouldn't go tell other people to do something that I haven't tried myself. So of course I had to try it.
So when we attended the Nice, France conference, you were still in high school, of course, 2 years ago. How many of you guys were there? Right? Yes. And that's Alex. I think you had just come on board then, right? Yes. So what changed?
Yeah, so I went to the Nice conference because I had no planning of actually doing the business. Of course, I used the products, but it was then in Nice, France. I was watching people present. I remember Alexandra presented, and I I really liked what she was saying and a few others, and I was like, well, maybe I should look at the comp plan because I have in the other businesses, and I can role play it again. Well, actually, I was 17 years old, so a couple months from the East Conference, I turned 18, so I was like, well, maybe this is what I should actually do. I had no idea what I wanted to do up to that point. I had like half a year left of high school, so I thought, why not just give it a try, and that's how it started.
So we jumped on the scooters on the French Riviera, and that 30-minute ride we went over the comp plan. And I explained it to him, and he said, okay, that one lady was doing TikTok that was up there on stage, and the other lady was talking about social media and what she was doing. So I don't have a TikTok or any social media platforms. So he said, I'll do the content, I'll create stuff or find stuff, and I'll start posting on yours. And I'll start working through yours, because I had been working the business, right, for a year, a little by a year and a half, and I had not even, seriously, probably gotten through hardly any of my Facebook friends. I have 5,000 on Facebook, and it just, the business took off. People know people, and you're just like running, and I'm thinking, if you could go through my Facebook and sit down, come home from school, you only one half day, sit down and send 100 messages until Facebook blocks you. Do that every day. How many months did it take you to get through 5,000 people?
About 6 months of consistency and messaging every single day. Because I just asked her, what should I do? And of course, whatever mom says is what I'll do. Because she, at that point, already had a really big business, so obviously I'd be a fool not to do what she says. So I messaged it every single day. 5,000 people, around 10,000 total messages sent. It wasn't like the most intriguing thing to do every day, but I only did like half day of school, so it was like my extra, like my ending of school. So that's how I started with building the business.
Right, and so the people would respond back. He had, we had formulated together these messages that I shared with you earlier, and we would formulate the response, right? And so then he would send the response back in my messenger, and the conversations would go from there, depending on what they were wanting to do. I'd make appointments, whether it didn't matter, he was at school or whatever. I'd get on Zoom or phone calls or whatever with them. So things really started to change, though, after you graduated high school, and all of his buddies went away from college. They all went away from college a year ago. So let's talk a little bit about you two.
Yeah, so after high school and after that high school summer, all of my friends left for college. I started doing college. I did it for about a semester, but it was college near my house, so I didn't leave. But then I ended up dropping out soon after. So I started wondering what's a better way to share the business, and what other better way than social media. You get out to all these people. You don't have to message every person, and people will see your stuff and actually reach out to you, and it makes it a lot easier. I was trying to work as smart as I could, and working smarter, not harder, of course. And so I decided to do a TikTok page, Instagram page, Facebook page, etc., and post every single day, keeping my consistency. Posted every single day, once, twice, 3 times a day on those platforms, and I started to see some real traction that was gaining from it. So.
And we're going to talk a little bit about shorts and stuff here in just a minute on the next page. So tell them real quickly about getting your real estate license. When you graduated that summer, you got your license. Why'd you do that?
Well, part of the reason is I was already looking to do Lifewave, and I was messaging, and so I was doing something with my mom, but my dad is actually a contractor, and he's been wanting ever since I was a little kid to do what he does and take over his business someday, which I will not be doing, but I work alongside him with my real estate license. He builds things and I sell them for him, and it actually helps me because I build my people skills and selling skills, and I can kind of transfer it to Lifewave and just be a better speaker and such stuff.
So tell them a little bit about the personal development seminar that you started attending with real estate.
Yeah, so the real estate actually led me into another part, which is this man who is my mentor now, and he was hired by my brokers to teach us all about personal development, and I got really intrigued with it all, so I hired him to be my one-on-one mentor, and ever since then my Lifewave business has grown tremendously, and I recommend it to you to work on yourself, because that's, I think, the best thing you can do with your time.
Yes, so that we're going to talk a little bit more about that on our next slide. But right now we're going to talk about how you actually create this passive income from YouTube, from your shorts?
Yeah, so I take a lot of my content, of course there's content on these pages of me, but I take most of my content from other people, the experts that are vetted and have reputable sources, because people seem to want to understand and learn things from them rather than some random kid. Like, what do I know? I don't have any education except for a high school diploma. So they would rather listen to an expert, a doctor, David Schmidt. So I'll take a long form video, like a full YouTube video, 60 minutes, and I'll watch the whole thing, because I watch YouTube like all the time anyway, so, and try to learn things. So I'll watch a Lifewave video of David Schmidt, 60 minutes long. I'll go through, find all the things that I think are very important, about minute-long segments, and I'll divvy them up, and I'll post them all out to all the social medias, because people's attention spans are way smaller than they once were, and they don't want to watch a 60-minute long video without skipping through, doing something else, losing interest. So 60 seconds with some subtitles, you're reading what's going on. It's really easy to stay in the lines and know what you're learning and learn things very easily and quickly. So that's why I try to make it very easy for people.
So it's interesting too, because people will ask him questions, and I'm sure many of you have asked him questions about the product or about the business, and because he's watched literally hours and hours and hours and hours of content creating these shorts, up until just here, a couple months ago, every short that's been created that took the channel from 2,000 to over 14,000 subscribers, we have over 1 million views on this channel. He watched every video and found relevant points of starting and stopping to create the 60-second shorts. So when people are like, well, he's just your kid, you did it, he probably doesn't know that much. No, he really does know a lot about it, because he's genuinely been interested, but also through listening to this content and creating it and posting it. When we go out of town, he has an app that schedules everything. So he'll schedule the content to be put out on YouTube and then save it and schedule that and get it out on the Facebook or on the Instagram platforms. And stories, just so you guys know, these are stories, so they're gone in 24 hours. Right? But stories, the beautiful thing about stories, you can see who's seen them. And when you take any short from my page, don't care, use all my content, all of it, it's what it's out there for. Take any short, put it on your story, on your Instagram story. You will see immediately who has seen it. And what you can do is, 200, 300, 400, 500, whatever people, you can touch on that person's name, and it immediately takes that video to their inbox. And you say, thanks for the love, or thanks for the heart, or thanks for the watch of my video. Do you understand that? They've seen it. You know they've seen it, and when you touch it, it goes to their inbox. Now they know that you know that they've seen it. And they're like, oh, hi, how are you? Yes, I've been watching your videos, and I was actually needing to talk to you about this. Do you think this will help me with my XYZ? The answer is yes, of course. Well, how much is this? How do I get started? How do I purchase it? Because you use the stories. Posts that you can't see, which are great. I love posts, but you can't see who's seen it unless they actually like it or comment. Lives, fantastic, but again, unless you're catching it and paying attention and trying to write down who's seen it right there live, you don't see who's seen the recording. I do lives. Reels are the same way. I do reels, but you don't know who's seen it. If you did one story a day, do you know how much business you would have on your social media? Just one. Because you would have hundreds of people seeing it every single day. And just like Trey said, it doesn't have to be you. It can be anybody. So let's talk a little bit about this Flixier and Spikes thing. I don't know what those are.
Yeah, so Flixier is what I use to create about 400 or 500 shorts, and it's the manual way, and if you want to watch every single piece of information yourself and make the clip out of your own judgment, use clicks here. I just recently learned about Spike's AI. It's actually how you utilize AI technology to make shorts, and it actually makes it for you, and in probably 1/1000th of the time. I wish I knew about it, but I learned about it a few months ago, and I've never told anyone this actually. It's not on YouTube, you can't find it anywhere else. So I'm telling you guys right now, never said actually about anything about this before. So Spike's AI, you can look it up, it's a monthly subscription. You can input any YouTube link from a long format video, and it'll create shorts for you, and within minutes, literally. So it makes my job 10, 20, 30 times easier, because all I do is schedule out the post now, and you know what used to take me hours before takes me 10 minutes. So it's really helpful.
When you go back up to that building online to create passive income, people have talked all weekend about actually putting in the time, putting in the effort, putting in the work, learning, right? Doing things to grow. And then all of a sudden, an opportunity presents itself for you to shave off some time, right? To make things a little easier so you can do other things in the business, so you can do other things with your life. That's what this is about, right? So that app has made a huge difference. And again, Trey, tell them why you only do the words and not all the other googly stuff all around everything.
So the reason I just use subtitles, you see a lot of shorts nowadays with way too much going on, and it's just frying your dopamine. You don't even need, like, you got things going on everywhere. I only keep it simple. I do subtitles, and I make it very easy for people to read, very easy for people to understand. And I realize that most of the people that are doing my things should be probably in the older generations and not kids my age. Kids my age love all the dopamine receptor hits. They love all the stimulus all over the screen. But I find that it's a lot easier for older generations to just get the easy words. You can get the information the quickest way, most efficient way. So I stick to what's easy.
And AI does all of that for you too. So. All right, buddy, let's talk a little bit about why leaders are readers. So these are the last 10 books that Trey hadn't read. So let's talk about why. I mean, you've read your whole life. You've been a reader your whole life.
Yeah, well, I didn't like to read, but of course when I was young, she really heavily influenced me to read books.
I paid him. Okay, I'll be honest. I've always paid him to read. Always. John Maxwell said, pay your kids to read, not to clean, unless you want to be janitors.
So, yeah, I didn't do chores. My chores were reading books. So I read books, and it really has helped my mindset grow and get me into a place where I am now and able to build a business and able to talk the way I talk. I fully think that reading books has completely changed my life and my mindset for the better. So I would not take any of it back for anything.
What would you say is your favorite book on that list right here?
I want to say Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard. It is kind of a short book, but it's concise to the point, like Ryan was saying. People want concise to the point. That's the whole reason I make shorts. That's the whole reason I came up with it, is because people like things that are short, to the point, and you want the information now. You don't want to read a 500-page long book when you could have gotten it in 60 pages. So it's a very informational book. I recommend it. Out of all the books on this list, I recommend that because self-awareness and awareness of others around you and your surroundings, it's very important.
You know, it's interesting. That's the last one that you ran out of those 10. Yeah. How many of you guys love Neville Goddard? Yeah. He's got incredible works. Incredible. All right, so let's talk a little bit about some of the reasons why multi-level marketing, why Lifewave is important to you.
Well, Lifewave is very important to me because I love meeting people that are open-minded, people that realize where this world is heading and how internet is taking over everything. So through network marketing, I get to meet a lot of people that are like-minded. I get to meet people that are older as well as some people that are my age but most people that are my age are in college or trying to do something for their own, of course. And a lot of them, though, it's hard to talk to, I find. I find talking to my friends is, they just don't want to hear it at the end of the day. They've got what their mind is set on, which is college and a degree. And for some people, which I think if you know what you want to do, that is awesome, and go that way. But I knew what I wanted to do, and I did it. And so I believe doing what you want is very important. And so another thing I asked David when I talked to him about this is what's the longevity of Lifewave? How sustainable is Lifewave? Because that's a big thing for me and kids my age is, can I make a career out of this, or is this going to be gone before I know it? Can I make a career out of this? Is it sustainable in the future? Can I put 10, 20, 30 years of my time into something that I know will stay, that I know will stick? And his answer actually really surprised me, and I actually recommend for all of you to go watch that video on our YouTube channel. It actually blew my mind. I did not think he was going to answer the way he did with the elaboration that he used. So I can't thank him enough for that opportunity.
What did he say?
They're dying right now, but you got to tell them a little bit.
So basically, he reassured the whole call. It was 1,000 people on the Zoom of me interviewing him. I wanted to get a lot of value for the people that were in the call. Like, he wanted to just publicly congratulate me. I said, well, that's nice, but you could just tell me that right now. We don't need this in front of 1,000 people, so I'm going to ask you a few questions, and hopefully the people in the audience can get some value out of it as well. And so basically what he said was, I asked him, for the future of Lifewave, basically, what do you have? And he says, I have plans the next 7, 10 years already completely laid out with new things that no one has ever heard of, things that cannot be replicated, things that are patented, things that are going to send this company that's already leading in growth, but it's going to be untouchable soon. And he actually said things about creating a possible second company, because back in conference last year, he talked about drones and things with energy and actually humanitarian things that he was going to come out with in the future. So he's going to make a sister company essentially in the future that runs alongside Lifewave, and you'll have your company merged, of course. You don't have to build a whole new company. That would be bad. And so we're going to have 2 companies in the future that will have their own things. Of course, Lifewave will keep making new things to do with light technology and things for health and wellness. And this new company will be energy and humanitarian work. So it's very exciting.
It's a full 33 minutes. So he was so excited to get to share these things. Because when people have him on Zooms, it's product, right? The basics. And you could tell he was really excited to talk about the opportunity, Lifewave. Trey asked him, why did you choose multi-level marketing? But also, why would someone my age, my generation, be interested in looking forward to the future? And he was really excited about it. So definitely go check that out. So Trey, what would be your message for everyone who wants to be where you are right now at the top of the company? What would be your message to them?
I would say the number one thing for me, of course, everyone builds a business in their own way. My way was social media, but of course you can do it any way you like. And I would say the number one thing it is consistency. When I started, I had literally no people, and my mom told me to start messaging. I said, all right, whatever, I'll do it anyways because I'm sure what you're saying is correct. So I did it every single day, and for a long time, like 6 months, I really had a few people, of course, join, and I didn't see a much success until I actually went full into this. When my friends all went to college, I went full into this, and I really submerged myself in the idea of what do I want to do to make this company better, and I came up with social media. And maybe if you're thinking of doing the same thing, that could be your path, or maybe you think of something new, a new way that you can share this information and your own spin of things, because I think everyone does things differently, and there's not one way to do things. And so it's really you create your reality. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking of how you want to build this business. You can do it however you like.
Wonderful. Thank you, Benny. Great job. Thank you.
Good.